Peace be with you. Dear friends, welcome to Living Flame Podcast website and Facebook group. Gospel Reflections for Monday in the 19th week in the Ordinary Time. Gospel according to Matthew chapter 17 verses 22 to 27. As Jesus and his disciples were gathering in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is to be handed over to men, and they will kill him, and he will be raised on the third day." Now, just imagine a prediction that can shake the disciples. The disciples expected that Jesus is going to be always victorious through his preaching, teaching, and working miracles. But when they heard this, perhaps their hopes were shattered, they were devastated. Maybe they were thinking that they can have a wonderful time with Jesus, going around, having nice time, recognition on the part of the people. And then when Jesus predicted that the Son of Man is to be handed over to men and they will kill him, that was a sad part of it. But Jesus does not stop there. He says he will be raised on the third day. If the disciples were intelligent to perceive this faith aspect of the resurrection of Christ, they wouldn't be troubled so much. Dear friends, one of the greatest lessons we can learn from Jesus is to learn how to die to ourselves so that we may be raised on the third day. Jesus always shows us the way. In this world, there is going to be suffering, pain, sorrow, defeat. But then that is not the end. We are going to be victorious through the resurrection. And in this short statement, Jesus practically summarizes his mission, that he will be killed and on the third day he will rise again. And as the gospel says, and they were overwhelmed with grief. But they never thought of the resurrection. Whenever we listen to the gospel passage on a Sunday or a weekday during Mass, we always listen to the gospel passage with the spirit of the resurrection. There is no tragedy in Jesus. There is only victory. The cross leads to crown. Pain leads to gain. Death leads to resurrection. And that is what it is. Christian life is that. And then, there were others who come to Jesus. The collectors of the temple tax ask Peter, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" Peter said, "Yes," he said, "he pays the taxes." When he came to the house, before he had time to speak, Jesus asked them, "What is your opinion, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth take tolls or census tax? From their subjects or from foreigners?" When he said from foreigners, Jesus said to them, "Then the subjects are exempt." Of course, Jesus was referring to the chosen people, the Jewish people. They were not entitled to pay taxes, but heavy taxes were also imposed on the Jewish people. "But that we may not offend them, go to the sea, drop in a hook, and take the first fish that comes up. Open its mouth, and you will find a coin worth twice the temple tax. Give that to them for me and for you." So Jesus wants to observe the law very scrupulously. So therefore, paying the temple tax is an obligation. Every Jew had to do that. Of course, Jesus said very clearly to Peter, who has to pay the taxes? Peter said, the foreigners, but they were also not excluded. Jesus came to fulfill the law, even the interpretation of the law. Of course, the Pharisees and scribes who were interpreting the law according to their whims and fancies. Jesus' interpretation of the law goes beyond that. His interpretation comes from love of God and love of neighbor. But then paying the taxes, certainly we need to do that. There is no escape from paying the taxes. And Jesus was generous towards Peter. Well, pay for me and for you. But through a miraculous way, from the mouth of a fish. Well, dear friends, today's gospel passage is a very interesting one for our reflection. First of all, we need to look at the resurrection of Christ in everything that we do, in our daily life, in our daily tiredness, work, dealing with people, with our children, with our life partner, with our neighbors, with our colleagues at work. We need to see the light of the resurrection of Christ in everything that we do. If we can see the light of the resurrection, then we will be always filled with hope. And then our obligation to the state, that we cannot escape. We have to pay the taxes. We need to be fair and just. And thus, Jesus will certainly refer to us. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. They will be satisfied. That is what the Lord has taught us, and we will follow Him to the letter. God bless you.